Guys, we are back. Another episode of MLB The Show franchise. We're going to be doing the Colorado Rockies today. We did the Arizona Diamondbacks in the last episode. Went so-and-so, had some good seasons, bad seasons. This Rockies team is going to take a lot of work because they're in a rebuild, and we're only doing 3 seasons, so I'm going to have to make some moves quickly to even try. My goal is to at least get this team in the playoffs. World Series is probably going to happen, but at least a playoff run. So let's take a look at this roster before we get going. Cal Quantrill, they got from the Guardians. Had a few good seasons. 2020 to 2022, he was really good. Had a down year. Don't know how he's going to be in that ballpark, hitter's ballpark, but maybe he could be a guy they flip the deadline or get some good numbers out of. We got German Marquez, who's been a Rocky his whole career, was hurt last year. Really hasn't been bad for them, though, for that ballpark especially. Got him for 2 more seasons. Kyle Freeland still have 4 seasons left on his extension. That was a really bad extension for them. Like, he hasn't been horrible, but he definitely hasn't been worth that money either. Dakota Hudson, former Cardinal, could be a sneaky good pickup if he can get back to what he was. He's been hurt, coming off of Tommy John surgery, pretty sure. With the Cardinals, he was pretty good the first few seasons he was there. Then he got hurt, and it just wasn't really good after that. And then Austin Gomber, another former Cardinal, he got in the Nolan Arenado deal. Hasn't been good. He said that part of that's just he's trying to live up to that Nolan Arenado trade, and that could definitely take a toll on a player. So you look at this rotation, 3D potential players, 2C potentials at the top. Like, there's not a lot to look forward to. I mean, they do have Chase Dollander, who's a potential 22. That could be somebody we maybe put in the rotation or look to move maybe. And you look at the bullpen, John Curtis, who just hasn't really been able to stay healthy either. He's been good when he's pitched. Daniel Bard had a down year last year, was really good in 2022. And then Jalen Beeks coming off a down year as well. They're getting a lot of guys off down years, which could be a good or bad thing. And then Tyler Kinley and then Jake Bird. So you look at this bullpen, it needs a lot of work. Closer Justin Lawrence had an okay year last year. I shouldn't say okay. It was a pretty good year, especially for them. 3.72 ERA. Catcher, you got Elias Diaz last year of his deal. Probably won't bring him back. We'll see how he does. And they got Jacob Stallings they signed. Elahiris Montero, young guy they got. Another guy they got in the Nolan Arenado deal. Had an okay year last year, 11 homers. I think he's still going to have probably a 20 home run campaign in that ballpark. We'll just have to see. They got Brendan Rodgers. They really hope to get more out of. He's just been hurt and inconsistent. Hopefully he can bounce back. We got him for another season after this one. And we have Ryan McMahon, who a lot of fans, not sure if it's baseball fans or Rockies fans, are criticizing the extension of Ryan McMahon. I mean, for the numbers he's put up, that's really not a bad extension. Like, he's put up 20 home runs the last 3 years. He's a Gold Glover, can play first, second, and third. Like, I really like Ryan McMahon as a player. Ezekiel Tovar, only 22. I think they gave him a big extension, unless it's someone else I'm thinking of, but had a really solid year last year. Drove in 73, too. He's 15 home runs. He's only 22. Really like him as a player as well. Outfield, they got a lot of young outfielders. Don't really have anybody established in the outfield. That might be something to look to get. Sean Buchard, 2070, coming off a good year last year. Only played 21 games. And you got Sam Hilliard, and you got Yanquel Fernandez, who's 21, so he could definitely be some. And then you got Brenton Doyle in center field, only 25. He could definitely potentially turn to something. But you just don't know what these guys are going to be. Besides Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones is a stud, going to be a stud. And then Charlie Blackmon's a veteran who hopefully will retire as a Rocky, but maybe he'll want to go to a playoff contender or try to compete. And then the guy they gave all that money to, Chris Bryant. I like Chris Bryant as a player, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy since he signed with the Rockies. We all know what he did with the Cubs and with the Giants when he was there for a short period. And, you know, it's a really bad contract. They can't trade it. They're just going to have to be stuck with Chris Bryant. Maybe he stays healthy this season and bounces back. But, I mean, he's due a lot of money. $26 million a year. It's a lot of money. Just not. I don't know. I really hope he bounces back. But it's one of them things where the Rockies saw he put up good numbers. They thought you could bring him to Coors Field. And it just hasn't worked out. So you look at this roster. Let me look through free agency real quick. They still haven't updated the rosters completely. I know Michael Lorenzen signed and Jordan Montgomery, Tony Kemp, JD Martinez. Like, there's not a lot of free agents. Like, we could sign a Tommy Pham, but he's probably going to drop an overall, like, already, like, as soon as we sign him. Like, pitching, not really seeing a lot of options, like, bullpen-wise. Starter-wise, we could sign somebody like a Jordan Montgomery, but I feel like I signed Jordan Montgomery in, like, a few of the last franchises. I'm a type of guy, I don't like signing the same players. Like, I will occasionally, but I really just don't want to keep signing Montgomery in every single franchise, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe we sign someone like David Staples. I'm gonna get rid of Noah Davis. Don't seem like he's gonna turn anything. David Staples. We can put him in the rotation. Another guy right here, David Crowell. I mean, they got some young free agent starting pitchers here. So I'm gonna sign some of them. Let's get past. I know you guys don't want to say we're gonna get this first season underway. This is more of a filling out season. Maybe make some moves at the deadline, trade some guys, put them on the trade block, and I'll see you guys at the trade deadline. He's offered us a trade, JP Ferguson. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. He's having a really good season. He helps out our bullpen for the Dodgers. And they want Austin Gomber, who's having an okay year, but really a movable guy in our rotation. Really just need to revamp this whole rotation. So we're going to upgrade our bullpen and trade Austin Gomber. Off from the Atlanta Braves. We're getting close to the trade deadline. Herman Marquez, who's having a pretty solid year, but owed $10 million next year. Could definitely use that money to put in all these other positions we need. For Yanoa, we've had him in another franchise pitch pretty well, so he's only 25. Definitely fits in our long-term plans, so we add him to our team. Trade deadline, and we are 29 games out of first place. This is not going to be a good first season. We did make a few moves, nothing major besides Alek Manoah, who we ended up getting from the Toronto Blue Jays. Figure we needed to, get some of the pitching moves done now at the deadline. And him, Cal Quantrill, Davis Staples, a rookie we signed, just hasn't worked out. We moved into the bullpen, put Alek Manoah in the rotation. Yanoa. We got a young rotation that could definitely turn into be something. Just have to see. You guys saw the JP trade. He's been solid for us. John Curtis has been good. And then we also got Alex Vercia. We traded Justin Lawrence for him, who's having a really good year. A lot of Dodger pitching in our bullpen, which ain't a bad thing. We signed Cody Hewer, and he's been solid in the minor leagues. And we also signed JD Martinez to be our DH, which we need to trade JD Martinez because he's not going to come back, and he's already declining in overall. He's not been bad. He's just been hurt. We've been really decimated with injuries. I know a lot of them don't show injuries right now, but, Blackman, he fractured his leg. He's been out. He's having a really good season. So let me see who I can get for JD Martinez. He's a free agent to be, but definitely could help a team in a playoff race. We got to try to make some moves, get ready for next season. JD Martinez. It might take a while to load here. So let's see if there's anything that, obviously I'm not expecting us to get offered anything crazy. Because, he is 36 on an expiring contract. Just, the Cardinals' offer is intriguing. Ivan Herrera, Thomas Sagasi, Johan Oviedo would be this trade would be intriguing too because Johan Oviedo is only 26. He could be in our bullpen. He could also be a starter. And now Central's offering some pretty good deals. Trey Turner? No way. There ain't no way they offering Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos for JD Martinez. What? That is shocking to me. I wouldn't finesse the Phillies like that because I want this to be realistic. But there ain't no way in hell you offering Trey Turner, who you just signed 2 seasons ago to that monster contract, and Castellanos I could probably see. But there ain't no way y'all are offering that trade. That's insane. I ain't gonna finesse them like that. No, I know a lot of you probably say I should, but nah, I ain't doing that. David Peterson, very intriguing. Another pitching arm for our bullpen. So I'm seeing John Gray, another guy, former Rocky. So I'm seeing, I'm intrigued by the Mets offer. Even though the Phillies won, like I said, I should finesse and take Trey Turner and make him our big-time shortstop. I'm not going to do that. We're going to take David Peterson and Omar Narvaez. So we had another pitching arm to our team. I'm going to send David Staples down just to get him some work in AAA because he just isn't working out. So we got Alek Manoah, David Peterson, who's having a bad year, but maybe he can turn it around. Cal Quantrill, Yanoa, Kyle Freeland, Dakota Hudson. One of them is obviously a long relief pitcher, but this has potential to turn into something pitching-wise. Like we're improving our team this season. We did get something for JD Martinez. It's better than nothing. Still, it just baffles me they really offered Trey Turner for JD Martinez. I'm not going to get over that, but I think this team's, we're just going to have to see what we get for the rest of the season. Free agency is what we're really going to have to go to work and get, a first baseman and a catcher and some bullpen help and an ace. We're going to have to spend a lot of money. So I'm going to go ahead and send the end of the season. I'll show you guys how we did, and we'll get on to the second season. So first season is officially under wraps, 62 and 100, not really anything special at all. What I expected though, second season's really got to get on the gas pedal and get this team to try to contend in this very tough division. Padres ended up finishing better than us. Let's see how everybody did before we get going to the World Series and the free agency. So Ezekiel Tovar, good year. RBIs are down. He's in that leadoff spot. Charlie Blackmon was hurt a lot of the year. Still put up solid numbers. Just was hurt. Nolan Jones, another good year. 24 home runs, 76 RBIs. He's going to continue to get better. We got to sign him for the rest of the franchise. He's going to be our superstar player. Ryan McMahon, just a down year. Hopefully he could bounce back next year. That was just not good numbers. Elias Diaz put up good numbers. Not sure we're going to bring him back. We probably need to get a little bit younger in the catching position. Not that 33 is old by any means, but we just need to get this team better. Chris Bryant was healthy, played 139 games, put up 17 home runs, 51 RBIs. I'll take that. Still might unload him in the offseason, his contract. We'll see what teams are offering. Brendan Rodgers is not a very good year at all. Just not good. Played 151 games. Sean Buchard, good year. Played 56 games, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. Michael Taglia, not the greatest of numbers. Let's see our bench. Fernandez, not bad, 9 home runs, only played 53 games. Brendan Doyle, not good numbers at all. Wow, that's a bad year. Omar Narvaez, backup catcher, not great numbers. And then Adel Amador, not good numbers either. So our bench is definitely a weak point, and some of our lineup didn't really play well. We had some injuries too. Alek Manoah, not the greatest year, but definitely better than last year. Hopefully he can continue to get better. David Peterson definitely improved his numbers a little bit. He was like at an ERA of 6, so that's good to see. Cal Quantrill put up a solid year, 4.11 ERA, 13-14 record. David Staples just couldn't get it going. Still could see him being maybe a 5th starter for us or a long relief pitcher. Yanoa was not good at all, 1-7 ERA over 6. Wow. Dakota Hudson was solid, not anything special, but solid, 4.54 ERA. Peter Lambert didn't even pitch. Alec Vesia got hurt right after the trade deadline, but still a very good year for him. 3.12 ERA in 40 innings and 41 strikeouts in 40 innings. Jalen Beeks just could never really get it going. 5.22 ERA. Tyler Kinley was very good. 79 innings, was durable. 3.42 ERA. Lucas Gilbreth, solid. I'll take those numbers. JP was really good. 2.26 ERA. Wow. And then John Curtis in that closer role had a bad second half, but still saved 29 games. So when you look at this roster, man, it's like starting rotations definitely improved. I think if we get an ace, we'll be able to at least compete. Bullpen could use a few additions. I don't know how many additions we're going to be able to make. Maybe we have to get somebody in the Rule 5 draft or something. Closer, we definitely need catcher, first base, second base. Brendan Rodgers hasn't really been that good. Maybe we give another opportunity. We'll see. McMahon will give another year or two. Tovar is doing fine at shortstop. Left field, we need somebody. Center field, we could use an upgrade. And right field, we are set. So let's see who wins the World Series before we get this second season underway. The Astros defeat the Giants to win the World Series. So another World Series for the Astros. So I'm going to go ahead and get to free agency, do all this other stuff, and I'll show you guys the move we made next season. Moves we really want to make. Got to get rid of this Chris Bryant contract. Going to send him to the Giants, back to the Giants for shortstop Jorge Rodriguez. Just to unload some money. We got a lot of moves to make, and we got to have some cap space. Off season, you guys see we signed Juan Soto. And listen, I traded Chris Bryant's deal. I traded Kyle Freeland, traded Sensatella, got a lot of money off the books. We had a lot of cap space, and we needed a left fielder. Juan Soto originally a right fielder. I moved him to left because obviously we have Nolan Jones. So our outfield's now Juan Soto, who's coming off of a hell of a season with the Yankees. 343 average, slugged over 600, 42 home runs. Imagine what he's going to do in the Rockies' home ballpark. And you got him and Nolan Jones hitting back-to-back. Lefties hitting probably 25-plus home runs. We're going to give Brenton Doyle another opportunity in center field. We'll see how he does. If not, we'll have to look for another outfielder. Still got Ezekiel Tovar short, Ryan McMahon, Brendan Rodgers. We're going to give another year to him, too. He's a free agent after this year. Maybe we look to move him or see if anybody else available. We signed Joey Gallo to play first base. Now, he didn't have a horrible year last year with the Nats. He played 59 games, hit 12 home runs. Another guy with big-time power. We're going to have a lot of lefties in this lineup. But we go for power with this Rockies team because that ballpark, anybody like Joey Gallo could have a 30 home run back or bounce back year. We signed Gary Sanchez, another guy with power. Didn't really have a good year last year. Only played 36 games. Hoping for a bounce back year. Most of these guys are on 1 year deals outside of Soto. Joey Gallo 1 year, 6.3 million, and then Gary Sanchez 6 million. We signed Clay Holmes to be our closer, $15 million a year. Coming off a hell of a year last year, 1.79 ERA. We needed a closer. We went out and got one. Shelby Miller, we added him to the bullpen, coming off a really good year himself, 2.33 ERA with the Tigers. Only $5 million for 1 year. Figure why not? We also signed Jonathan Loaiza because we signed some Yankees. We got a lot of Yankee and Dodgers in this bullpen. Also coming off a really good season, 1.77 ERA, only cost $3 million. So you see the potential in this team. If this season goes right, we could be a wild card team. And then we signed Corbin Burnes to be our ace. Now, some of y'all might say, well, you spent a little bit too much money here. We had a lot of cap space, and these guys weren't commanding a ton of money. We had a ton of cap space, a ton. When you have a ton of cap space, you have to make the moves. And we went out and got our ace, 5-year deal, $19 million a year. We also signed Walker Buehler, another Dodger, $8.8 million per year for 2 years. Coming off a pretty solid year. Obviously, he was hurt in 2023. And then we also got David Peterson, Alek Manoah, and Cal Quantrill. So I really like the moves we made. I don't know if it'll pan out, but I'm ready to get the season underway, so let's get it going. So I'm going to make a trade. Alejandro Kirk. Now, he's not having a really good year, but we need a catcher for the future, or at least for the rest of this franchise. He's only making $4 million. We got him for next year thanks to arbitration, so we'll have him for the rest of the franchise. Not a good year at all. But I mean, we need a catcher, and Gary Sanchez ain't having any really better of a season. He's been horrible for us, so we're gonna trade him Gary Sanchez. You know, we got a surplus of starting pitching right now with Peter Lambert and Davis Staples and Cal Quantrill. We got Chase Dollinger getting ready to be ready for the big league. So, and then we're gonna trade Jorge Rodriguez. We got in the Chris Bryant deal, and see if we could turn Alejandro Kirk around. Hopefully, we can get him going. We're gonna make. Marlins had Jesus Luzardo on the trade block. He's having a pretty good year. We got him signed for next year. Alek Manoah, not really having a great year, 5.8 ERA over 5. And Chase Dollinger, because, you know, Jesus Luzardo could potentially be an ace. So, I mean, we're giving up one of our top pitching prospects in Alek Manoah for Jesus Luzardo. We're going to add him to this rotation. Our team is underperforming. We're 45-52 right now. Something's just not clicking. And maybe it's the bullpen. Not really sure, but something's just not clicking with this team. The trade deadline, second season, and we're 50-59. Just not what I expected. I knew this division was going to be tough, but I didn't expect it to be 9 games under 500. Let's take a quick look at how he's performed. Nolan Jones' powers is not there. Brendan Rodgers has not been good. Juan Soto has been as good as advertised. 33 home runs at the trade deadline. Joey Gallo's having a great year. Figured he's going to hit well in this ballpark. Ryan McMahon's having a better year, bounce back year. Alejandro Kirk, averages went up, just not hitting for a lot of power. He's not known for his power. Sean Buchard, not really terrible numbers. Ezekiel Tovar has been hurt, not really putting up good numbers. And Brendan Doyle has just not been it in center field. Kyle Datris, been okay off the bench. Drew Romo's been a solid backup catcher. Alejeros Montero's not been anything special. And then Adele Amador's not. Our bench again struggles. Rotation. Corbin Burnes has been as good as advertised. Walker Buehler's been decent, not great, but solid for a number 2. David Peterson has not been good, man. An ERA of 6, 3-12 record. Yikes, that is not where he needs to be. Jesus Luzardo's been great, and Cal Quantrill's been great. So really, besides David Peterson, our rotation looks solid. Davis Staples has been better, but still not great. FP was really struggling at the beginning of the season, so it's good to see his ERA jump down. Alec Vesia has been even better than last year, which is impressive. 2.73 ERA, 38 strikeouts in 33 innings. John Curtis has been great for us. Jonathan Loaiza is another great addition. Not as good as last year, but still having a good year. Clay Holmes has just not worked out. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just pitching in Colorado. His ERA is 6.17. Man, that is not what I wanted to pay $15 million to see. 24 saves, 5 blown opportunities. We had to move him out of the closer role. It's gotten so bad. And we ended up getting Giovanni Gallegos from the Cardinals and putting him in the closer spot. And then Shelby Miller's been good. So really, Clay Holmes has been really the bad part of our bullpen. And then if we look at the wild card, I mean, we're not winning the division. Wild card, we're 7 games out. So we really have to make a run in the second half. Let's take a look at the trade block. I really want to get Jazz Chisholm Jr., don't get me wrong. Because if we put an outfield of him, Nolan Jones, and Juan Soto, name an outfield that's better than that. But I just don't know what the Marlins want. They want Corbin Burns and Benny Montgomery. So I just don't know if we have the prospect capital to get him. That's the problem. Like I don't really, yeah, we don't really look like we have a lot of pitching prospects to get him. Like we just don't have a very good team. And you know, if we get up Alejandro Kirk, who's not really having the best year, we ship him off to the Marlins, who are in need of a catcher. But then we will be in need of a catcher unless we go out and trade for another one. Like this trade is tempting to me. I'm not gonna lie. Because our outfield would be very, very good with Jazz. We got him signed for another season, so we don't have to worry about retirement free agency. He could play all over the diamond. But is it worth giving up our catcher? That's the big question. Because Alejandro Kirk's not having a great year. It just hasn't been great. He's a good defensive catcher, but when it comes to his offense, no. Do we get this super outfield going of Juan Soto, Nolan Jones, and Jazz Chisholm Jr.? That would be very, very intriguing. I'm going to do this trade and look for another catcher. I'm just too intrigued by that outfield not to make that deal. So is there any catchers on the trade block that we can go out and get? It is not looking like there is. That is unfortunate. So maybe we go out and get a guy like this, right? Diego Cartaya, who's playing well. I know we have a lot of Dodgers on this team. Or Jeremy Quintero, who really has good numbers. I'm going to try to get Jeremy Quintero. Who do they want for no trades found, really? So let's see. Michael Toglia for Jeremy Quintero. I'm going to do that trade. So that's 2 trades. We need to get another first baseman in free agency. Let me see if I can find one that's going to sign this guy. So we have our 2 catchers. Both young, both 23, both can split time. You know, our catcher might be a little bit of a weak point for us, 2 rookies, but I mean, the rest of our team, besides second base, is pretty much set. I mean, especially the outfield. The outfield, we don't have to really worry about it all. So I'm going to send the end of the season. Maybe we can make a run. And this final season, we got to try to get to these playoffs. It's over again. We did not make the playoffs, 75 and 87. I really liked a lot of our moves. It feels like we're just missing maybe that one thing. We'll have to see what it is. League leaders. Juan Soto in home runs, RBIs, slugging, on base. What a year for Juan Soto. And Juan Soto ends up winning the Hank Aaron and the MVP. So he was really worth the deal. 49 home runs, 138 driven in. Just an absolute stud of a year for Juan Soto. Let's see how everybody else did. Nolan Jones just had a down year power-wise. He still put up good average. On base, got on base a lot. We just need to see more of that power from him. He needs to be a big part of this team. Sean Buchard, how about him? 18 home runs, 64 RBIs. Juan Soto, we already showed what he did. Joey Gallo, 25 home runs, 66 RBIs. Maybe we bring him back. Jazz Chisholm Jr. was great, 23 home runs, 75 RBIs. Ryan McMahon had a good bounce back year, 23 home runs, 76 RBIs. And then Jeremy Quintero was pretty decent. I mean, not bad. Really, he don't need to be a superstar in this lineup. Brendan Rodgers, we're probably going to let walk in free agency. He's just not hit. We need to get somebody else in second base. And then Ezekiel Tovar, not a great year, hoping for a bounce-back year. Kyle Daytris was pretty good off the bench. He can play first, third, second, short, so he's definitely a good utility guy. Drew Romo did not hit very much, but he'll still be our backup next year. Fernandez hit 389 in 10 games, so definitely making an impact. And Heros Montero was not great, but not bad for limited time. So let's take a look at this rotation. Corbin Burns was excellent, 60-9, 3.20 ERA. Very impressive, especially pitching at the Rockies ballpark. Walker Buehler was good, 4.15 ERA, just didn't get a lot of run support. David Peterson, not great. I mean, I'm still probably going to keep him around, but we definitely might need to get another starter. Jesus Luzardo, 3.74 ERA, not great, but not horrible. And then Cal Quantrill, 4.22 ERA. Still might bring him back, but I feel like we need to get another 5th starter depending on how much budget we have available. JP really bounced back in the second half, 3.31 ERA. Peter Lambert, not bad at all, 4.70 ERA. I will take that. Alec Basia, another excellent year. What a pickup he's been. John Curtis, another solid campaign, 3.70 ERA. Jonathan Loizica will probably look to re-sign, put up solid numbers, 2.63 ERA. Not a lot of strikeouts. Clay Holmes, we need a bounce back year from badly. I mean, a 6 ERA on the season. Just got to be better. That's a big part of our team. We got to have him being what he was in 2024. I mean, we got to have that. If we're going to make the playoffs in this final season, we have to have him contributing at that level. Shelby Miller, great year. Not sure if we'll bring him back because he's starting to decline in overall, but still a very good year. And then Gallegos, free agents to be, great year for him too. He saved 15 games, 1.53 ERA. So let's see who wins the World Series before we get this final season underway. The Rays defeat the Cubs. Offer here from the Guardians for Corbin Burns. Now, we do need Corbin Burns. He's our ace. But they're offering us Kyle Manzardo, who's 25, still got great power, could really platoon with Joey Gallo at first base. We re-signed. And Jose Ramirez, who's owed $20 million for the next 3 years per year. But, man, our lineup. And we did sign Luis Rendifo from the Angels, who had a really good year last year. But, man, if we add him with the lineup of Juan Soto, Jazz, Nolan, Jones, man, that would be a star-studded lineup. I'm not going to lie, but we need pitching, so I'm going to decline. That's a tough trade to decline, but I'm going to decline. It's about to get underway. Not many changes to this roster. I tried to sign some free agents if they were just not interested in coming here. They don't really see us as a contender. Did sign Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's come off a really good year. As to our bullpen, we're really just hoping, this team performs better than they did last year. I mean, we signed Joey Gallo. You guys saw the Luis Rendifo signing, which I think that will help at second base over Brendan Rodgers. But other than that, pretty much the same team. I mean, I didn't really see a lot of moves that were impactful that we could really get. I mean, there were a lot of starters available, but they were all just getting offers from other teams that really topped their interest in what they wanted to do to come here. So, I mean, I think Peter Lambert and David Staples will be fine in that fifth starter spot. If not, we can always make a trade. But, I mean, 1 through 4 were solid. I mean, the bullpen could definitely still be a concern. A lot of these guys had good years last year. And, we got some guys like Drew Jameson in the minor leagues and David Aguilar, Cody Hewer we've had in the minor leagues for a few years. He's been playing pretty well. So we'll just have to see. I'm ready to get this final season underway, so let's do it. Been struggling lately. We need a fifth starter. This is the final season. We got to try to make the playoffs. We're going to trade for Garrett Crochet from the White Sox. He's having an amazing season. He'll add to our already strong rotation, 2.24 ERA. We're going to trade them Luke McCabe, who's having a pretty good year in AAA. David Staples, who just needs to change his scenery. We're going to throw him in the deal. And we're going to trade our young shortstop prospect. We got Ezekiel Tofar, who's not really played well, but we're going to trade them Adele Amador, who's playing well in AAA. Well, not well, but he's putting up okay numbers there. So we're going to get Garrett Crochet to add to this team. And listen, we're 2 games out of first place, 46 and 43. So, I mean, we're still in the hunt, but this team has just not performed how I would hope. I don't know. Maybe this game just hates me using the Rockies. I don't know. I feel like our roster is good, but it looks like our lineup, Nolan Jones, has not performed. I mean, man, a .197 batting average, a 197 batting average. I mean, is this lineup the problem? Juan Soto's been good. Chad Chisholm's been good. Ryan McMahon's been good. Joey Gallo's been solid. Fernandez has been okay. Tovar's been bad. Drew Romo. I mean, we did lose our starting catcher, Jeremy Quintero, to a fractured hand. He should be back shortly, but, I mean, is it the bullpen? Our starting rotation's all cold, which is not a good sign. The starting rotation should be a lot better. I mean, the numbers are fine. Is it the bullpen? Okay, Jonathan Loizica's having a down year. JP's having a down year. Sir Anthony's been good. Clay Holmes has been better. Still high ERA, but better. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to go out and get a Bryce Harper, but, I mean, let's see who they'd want for Bryce. They want Nolan Jones. I mean, we could put Bryce at first base. But who do they want for Bryce? I mean, they want a starter. Peter Lambert. I mean, this seems like a pretty fair deal. I mean, Bryce is having a good year. Maybe the Phillies want to unload his contract. We add him to our lineup. I'm gonna do this trade. I'm trying to make the playoffs, guys. Some of these trades might seem a little bit out there, but going 0 for 3 and not even touching the playoffs would be very unfortunate. So we're gonna see if that move pays off. I'll see you guys at the trade deadline. And we're 7 games back, 40 or 54 and 56 with this team, and a lot of snowflakes on this team. I mean, when you look at this team on paper, you would think this team's a World Series caliber team with Nolan Jones and Renifo and Juan Soto and Jazz Chisholm and Ryan McMahon and Bryce Harper. You would like right now, you would think, man, that team's going to the playoffs, and we just haven't played well these last 2 seasons. Even the rotation, like the numbers don't look bad, but a lot of snowflakes. It's like I don't know, the numbers don't. It's like the Cubs team I had. If you guys watch that, where the numbers look good, like nobody's numbers besides 2 guys in the bullpen look like Clay Holmes is struggling, and in that closer spot. It looks like we got too many pitchers called up. It looks like somebody came back from injury. Let's see. I'll send somebody down off video. I'll get that figured out. But like, you look at this team, I don't get it. Is this Rockies team just cursed? I don't get it. I don't really know if I should even make any more moves because I've made so many moves with this team and nothing has worked. I feel like this rotation, you look at this rotation, it's great. Corbin Burns, Luzardo, David Pearson, Walker Buehler, Garrett Crochet. This rotation looks dynamite. Yeah, there's no 90 overalls, but like it looks great. The lineup looks solid. Like I don't know. We'll see how the end of the season looks, and we'll get this video wrapped up. The season is over. This franchise. We had a league leader. Jazz Chisholm led the league in WAR. That is it. So let's see how everybody did. Let's take a look at the standings. 81 and 81. This is not a 500 team on paper, but this just goes to show you can bring in anybody you want into a team, and they know it's going to work out. So lineup wise, Nolan Jones just hasn't really played like we thought he would. I mean, I thought he'd be a guy right now hitting at least 35 to 40 home runs. I mean, I really did. But I know his power is not high, but I figured he would develop into that, or at least 25 home runs. But he hit that in 2024, close to it. And I don't know, he just hasn't worked. Luis Renifo was a solid pickup, 22 home runs, 76 RBIs. We did have Juan Soto get hurt in the final game of the season, so that's why you don't see his numbers. Let's go ahead and take a look at Juan Soto's numbers. Another good year, 42 home runs, 103 RBIs for Juan. He did what we paid him to do. We just couldn't win. I mean, that's unfortunate because Juan Soto was amazing. Jazz had another awesome year, 33 home runs, 86 RBIs. Ryan McMahon had a fantastic year, 32 home runs, 74 RBIs, had 271, slugged 488. Bryce Harper was worth the trade, 31 home runs, 103 RBIs. Montero wasn't really good. Ezekiel Tofar was not very good. And Jeremy Quintero, when he played, put up great numbers. So you look at this lineup, besides Nolan Jones and maybe like Tofar and Montero, everybody else played great. We got a monster lineup. Freddie Zamaro, not great. Kyle Daytrees, not great. Drew Romo, not great. I mean, I know our bench is probably something I should have upgraded, but when you have a lineup like this, the bench don't have to be great to me, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's take a look at the rotation. Corbin Burns, another fire year, 13 and 7, 3.18 ERA. Jesus Luzardo wasn't fantastic, but still put up solid numbers. Walker Buehler had a great year, 11 and 12, 3.15 ERA. Garrett Crochet was not good with us. He was amazing before the trade. 4.70 ERA. Before the trade, he had like an ERA under 3. Wow. Ryan Feltner was not good. Solid for number 5, but not good. David Aguilar, just not good at all. Drew Jameson was great, 72 innings, 3.10 ERA. Gallegos was great, 2.61 ERA, 64 strikeouts. Alex Vesia, Mr. Consistent, another excellent year. Pretty much the same as last year with more innings pitched. Loizica was not great this year. We had to send him down to the minor league. Still better than what he was, but like at the beginning of the season, was just not a great season. JP, another solid season. So Anthony Dominguez ERA went up, but still not a bad year. Clay Holmes just hasn't been a good signing for us. His numbers were better this year, but still just hasn't worked out. So our bullpen could have used a little work, but if you're a Rocky fan watching this, I disappointed y'all. I feel like I made the right moves to get this team to the playoffs. I know we're in a tough division, but I tried to make moves, and some of them might have been even unrealistic moves at times. or getting Bryce Harper. But this team just didn't work out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the franchise. Let's see who wins the World Series real quick before I wrap this video up. The Twins beat the Diamondbacks for the World Series. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed again. Sorry, Rockies fans. I tried to get this team offense that would mash, and we did. We just didn't win enough games. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Look at my other channels in the description below. I will see you guys for the next one.